Hey, what's going on, Archons? Welcome to an analysis video, but analysis of a strategy or some sort of stratagem that could exist within playing KeyForge. Today, I have decided to go over the concept of calling a house during a game for maximum efficiency. And as I say this, there are a few variables that come into play to really make this statement ring true. So right now I've set up a game using my laptop and my desktop to get the game to a state where what I want to demonstrate exists. So from this standpoint, it's looking bleak. There is a ton of creatures here, and it's not good. You know, things are going to go badly. But there's a few things in play here that I want to discuss. So here's the situation. We're into the game. The opponent clearly has a different board state, and I have to call a house. Now, just to give a little insight, this particular deck happens to be a Dark Ember Vault deck in Shadows. It also happens to have, the way this deck works is the majority of your mutants are going to be in Logos, a little bit in Untamed, and then the rest are kind of, it's really distributed, so it's not really about that, and that's not what I want to demonstrate. But I will go over some concepts that could relate to certain decks. So maybe you have a combo deck, maybe you have a one house is really strong deck, things like that. So right now, here's the game state. You can see that the opponent has quite a strong board. I have a standardized testing in hand, which could really take care of a lot of those issues. And we have the benefit of Kangafant to help in this situation. So these are variables that may not always exist, but here they are. So when calling a house, so far, I'll show you what's going on here. Discard. You can see there is one Untamed in the discard, 2 Shadows, and 2 Logos. Okay. Now, what I would be doing when making decisions here of what house to call, there's a couple things. What is, first I'm looking at, is there a present issue that needs to be resolved? Well, if my opponent goes Untamed, that exists quite a bit. You got Kangafant, Mystic Mermook, and Panpaka Anga. Okay. There is also the fact that I have the Miasma Bomb out, so I have to keep that in mind. How do I want to utilize Miasma Bomb? Is it something that I'm saving for a late game, buy myself a turn? Or is it something I'm going to use sooner than later to give myself an advantage? These are all things that I will be considering when calling a house. So right now, I'm basically letting you know how my brain works when I'm doing things. So we can also look at the draw pile, and that's what this is about, is how I view the discard and draw pile. So not actually the best representation right now, but as you can see, there are 6 cards left in Logos. There is 8 in Shadows. And then there's also 8 in Untamed, plus whatever I have in hand. So this is how I kind of look at these things. Is I'm basically deciding a couple things. One is, do I deal with this impeding threat? It is key 1, so the reason to get rid of it is less. And most people right now, you kind of be in a situation where you go, you know what, I just want to cycle more potentially, so I'm just going to get a board of Untamed creatures out because that's where I'm playing 3 cards. That's fine. Also in the archives, there is a Effervescent Principle. Now the way I'm looking at this is maybe I should deal with the board. Maybe. So right now, I've kind of played an equal amount of Logos and Shadows. So those 2 houses are the most tapped into. So I could set myself up for a potentially stronger Untamed turn right now. And that's maybe what I'm looking to do at this present time for 2 reasons. I'm either thinking of going Shadows. I basically don't want to call Untamed. That's the point I'm trying to make here. Belabored point. So if you look at my Untamed, there is a lot of creatures in there. There is only Earthbind, Song of the Wild, and Troop Call. So there's a lot of stuff in there. Right now, I only have 1 in my discard, and I have 3 in my hand. So there's 4 untamed cards total. There's 1, there's 3, there's 4, 5, 6 cards here. So half of my Logos has been played. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 less shadows. So you know what? There's more shadows to come. So what I'm going to do is, because I have the most Logos played, and if I look at my draw pile, the stuff I have in Logos is actually not that important coming up. Like it's fine. I don't really need it right now. It's totally okay. And so that means I think I want to go the Logos route. Not only can I have a strategy to basically wipe their board minus Pampaka Anga, it will also give me Daughter on the field, which is going to let me draw 1 more card. And so therefore I can cycle into that turn. So this is what I go through. This is my mind process. What exists? What is the future that I'm looking to do? What are the threats? Those are kind of the 3 things. So threat initiation is they could go into Untamed to get into check right away, and I don't know what's in the hand. That's threat number 1. Threat number 2 is Science Officer Morpheus. So they have play effects, which means Edai triggers twice, which is kind of scary. It also means the Chief Engineer walls they could get in a way to trigger. There's also the, what else is there? That's actually kind of it, but the double Edai play alone is enough to make me kind of go, okay, I don't really want this to exist. My board clears are limited, so right now I can get maximum effect. So I have to consider that factor, and that's what I will consider, and I'm going to go Logos here. Based on all the information, I'm leaning towards a Logos or Shadows. Logos is going to give me not only the ability to deal with the board, it's also going to give me the highest percentage to draw into either more Shadows or Untamed, and I'm also getting an extra card draw advantage. So it just makes sense to do that. So we're going to go Logos. We'll leave the Effervescent Principle where it is for now. We'll Reap with the Titan Engineer, which will destroy it, and then we'll play Standardized Testing, because it leaves me with a nice, clean, tidy board. And you know that I like my tidy boards. So then we play Daughter, and we hit end turn. Okay, drew into more Logos, actually, but we also got some more Untamed. And the Untamed is quite nice because we have the Beast buff and that. So there's a couple things here. Let me just quickly do this turn. Uno momento. I'm just doing the laptop play here. Yeah, let's go with doing almost like a similar thing. All right, so just did that turn. So that's here we are. So now I can look at this situation and go, okay, they're almost in check, not in check quite yet. Do I want to build a crazy board that can fight? Do I want to go into Logos 1 more time? Maybe even use Effervescent Principle here. So these are the considerations I'll be making now. So this is a point where I actually don't think I'm going to go into Untamed necessarily. Well, actually, you know what? I am going to go into Untamed. There's factors here that are changing my mind. So that's a mutant. That's a Beast Niffle. That's a Beast. And that's the Queen. So I think I want to actually go into Untamed now. So I'm thinking about Logos. The only thing that's a caveat right now is that I have the Effervescent Principle. So them not being in check means that I don't have to use this card right now to take my opponent off. I can in fact allow them to go higher, which will mean Effervescent Principle will have a higher effect. Not only that, none of the cards I play in Untamed are generating Ember for myself, so therefore I'm less inclined to be going on that route anyway. So the Effervescent Principle next turn is going to have a greater effect on my opponent and the same effect as it would now on me. Now, the only reason why I would consider not doing this is because I'm only going to draw into 4 Logos cards. And this is kind of my whole, when I'm looking at your draw pile and to maximize the efficiency, is if I played 2 more Logos, a couple things would happen. One is I'd probably go through quite a bit of my deck with Lethalogica. And 2, the chance of me drawing into these cards means I'm going to get 1, so there's only going to be 3 left. And then I'm also going to, yeah, the only thing I don't like is the Lethalogica right now is going to potentially get rid of my Pismires, get rid of my Dark Amber Vault, get rid of an Old Bruno, things that are going to be really helpful. That is my one, why I'm not a huge fan of Lethalogica. So I also have the chance of getting a Titan Engineer to further increase key costs. So there's just little things there that make me think, okay, the Logos play may be better later. But if I did choose to go Logos this round, I think it is viable. I would use the Effervescent Principle, and then I would use Lethalogica, Reap with Daughter. And what would happen is I would basically go through quite a bit of the deck. So I would create a cycling potential. In fact, let's do that. I want to do that play just to showcase. So this is sometimes a play I like to do where I want to maximize what's going to come next. So the option A is to go Untamed, which will basically allow you to have a turn where you're establishing a board. It's a turn where you know your opponent's not in check. So that is the one caveat. The other route is, okay, it's early enough in the game. I could Miasma Bomb even, and then Effervescent Principle the following turn. So that's another route. And then do this Lethalogica Lycobot play to just get even more. So you're going to have this huge Untamed turn coming up, potentially. Let's try this one out. I know it's kind of weird. I'm actually even thinking of saving the Effervescent Principle and doing a different route. So here we go. We're going to go Logos, like I said. I know this is kind of odd the way I'm doing this, but I like to do things differently. Then we're going to go Lethalogica. So here's where everything goes. Okay, we got the Titan Engineer. Now, let's see what we got rid of. Song of the Wild, Fidget, and Troop Call. So things that are not too bad. In fact, 2 Untamed cards. 2 Untamed cards I don't really care about at this present time. And then Fidget is fine. So now we know in the deck, if you look, there is 3 cards left. So the chance of me drawing into those is very slim. So I should either have a bunch of Shadows or some more Untamed coming up next, based on the way I'm kind of planning this. So we're going to throw the Titan Engineer out here just to increase key cost and create some issues. All right, and now we end turn, and let's see what we draw. Okay, and just as I thought, the chance of drawing into more Logos was slim. I played those odds. Now I have a really big Untamed turn, and I got Shadow, so I can Miasma Bomb, or I can do the Mutant play. There's a lot of different routes now that opened up from that. The double Pismire was huge. Okay, let's go into my turn for the other side and see what goes on. Whoa, almost smashed the computer there. All right, we'll do this right quick. Oh, this is a very easy turn on this end. The hand is all Logos. We go Strange Gizmo, Seismo, and we get something here that works to effect. Can destroy that. All right. So there we go. Turn done, in check at 6. This board's kind of a problem now. So the play here, I think, is now the Untamed play. This is the one I liked for many different reasons. Unfortunately, mini group think tank has to be considered when things are done here. Yeah, I have to just consider that carefully. So we're going to go Untamed. Leave the archives, put Pismire on the right, which instantly creates the key cost increase. They also have this, actually, I maybe, if I was the opponent, probably shouldn't have played Strange Gizmo on this side because of the board state. currently. What's important is kind of what I'm prioritizing in terms of where things are going to go. So we'll go Niffle Queen on the left. We're going to go Chonkers on the left, ping the bibliophile to at least get rid of that. And then I'm going to say that Flumph is the least important creature on the board, so I will allow it to take up that space. So check is off. Check did not advance, as was discussed when we went into that one. Check was not going to happen going into Untamed. We knew that. But now I should have a fairly strong shadow showing. If I get some Untamed, I could utilize my board. So let's see what happens. All right. Here is the Untamed. See, it's an even distribution here. I think I want to go Untamed in this situation. It's kind of looking where the most value can possibly be. Let's see how this goes on the other end. I know this is kind of weird with me goldfishing like this, but here we are. All right, so oddly enough, going Logos again is what makes sense. So go Logos. So fight, reap. Reap, reap, okay. So what I think I want to do here is play another Edai, archive that, increase key costs on the other side, get the Quant out. We're going to stop Untamed from reaping, which makes sense. And then, well, all these have Skirmish. So I think it's time to do a little damage control. So first off, let's take out Pismire. Oh, I did that in the wrong order, but that's okay. It doesn't really matter. And I think the daughter is the next. Yeah, I just realized I really hosed that because of the mini group think tank play. That's fine, because that's not the point of this. And then we're going to have yeah, we're going to have Edai fight into daughter. And we'll have this also fight into daughter. And then we'll just get rid of the sanitation engineers who still have some board control. All right, in check, end turn. So here we are in a situation now where my Untamed can't reap, which can change the complex of the situation. They're in check. I still have Effervescent Principle. Miasma Bomb is still in effect, doesn't have to be used. And so now the question is, do I just go Untamed anyways and deal with this board? Because the board is pretty scary. No question about it. Giving up the key, though, that's the question. This is one of those moments where I'm actually not going to give up the key. Because Strange Gizmo is going to take effect, I think what needs to happen here is the Effervescent Principle play now, which may seem kind of weird, but actually, you know what? I think giving up the key is the answer here. Yeah, the more I think about it, letting them have the key and wiping the board is actually a stronger play than anything else. So what I want to do is put myself in a position to really utilize that. So I'm going to go Untamed again. And here's why. We go like this. We take out Edai. take out E die. Play this Niffle Ape. Play an Earthbind on there. It's irrelevant. And then play the KeyFrog because it will guarantee getting stuff. Nothing else really matters because of what's going to happen here. But it will guarantee that I can forge a key. So I'm kind of cheating the system here to allow myself to forge a key because the board state is a little wonky right now. So we're just going to end turn. See, everything blows up. Keys are forged. So, and now look at my hand. A bunch of shadows. And this is the point I'm demonstrating. Make decisions to set yourself up. Sometimes it means one turn you're going to do something less advantageous, but it can work out really well in the long run. So that was kind of the whole point of this video. This was a longer video, but I felt it was kind of necessary to go through the different things. And now I'm at a position too where I look at my draw and I have all shadows and one untamed. This is so strong and my opponent's not in check with old Bruno that I will actually just go into a Logos turn next to draw more. That's what I would do here and have an even stronger shadows turn. So that's going to do it for this video. I hope this was helpful and gave you some insight into how I view looking at draw piles, looking at your discard potentially too to see what has been used to make decisions on what you're going to call. And sometimes you're weighing in factors that on the surface don't seem to make sense, but when you're playing the longer game, things can add up in a really cool way that can help you win. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll be looking to do more videos of this nature. And as always, folks, may your ember never be stolen and your keys forged properly. Have a good one.